We have started.
You started already. So if we share the doc, this is yours, okay? That's mine.
I get an ear. You get the other ear.
Yeah, we have to make half. I mean.
Okay, but we can keep her complete.
No, we
and
keep
simply
her
share?
complete. But if something happens to this ear, I have to arrange it. If something happens to that, you have to arrange it.
Funnily enough, just now it was the other way round, and so I suspect that maybe it might be conveniently changing around.
I think you take care of the dog,
I
okay?
think
I think that's better. Now what? What will happen now?
We could read a little bit.
Read.
Yeah?
And you uploaded already the other session?
See?
It was 50 minutes?
Something almost 50, yeah. Who don't know?
Poor people.
Poor people. Well, you wrote this big book. What to do?
Wait for the next one.
So we ended the chapter, maybe it was called Morocco, but it played mostly in Morocco, and you told Sidi Rashid that you wouldn't be able to take his offer of taking over his house, because if you would play AC/DC, they would, in your words, nail both of us to the front gate of the property. So I think it's better if I do my work here and you do it in Morocco.
Claro. As I come from Christian background, it was very obvious, was nailing us. Maybe he would say they would poison
Stone
us
you.
or stone us.
Yeah, stoning also, well, I guess.
No, but they
yeah.
didn't stone men. No, only women.
Only women. Oh.
No, they were really funny.
Okay, so the next chapter is India. Also means we are coming closer. Well, we're coming
So
closer
the first
to
time in your life you will hear something about India.
The first time,
The
yes.
first time.
India. My dear student Maria from Elche? Elche?
Elche.
Came to visit. Where is Elche?
Elche, Paya. Murcia,
Okay.
cerca.
So
Elche.
Valencia,
Sí, direction Valencia. Direction. We have to speak English?
We speak English right now, yes. No es fácil.
Oh, I try to remember.
Okay. I will remind you if necessary.
Okay. Now go on.
My dear student Maria from Elche came to visit one day and asked, Baba, would you still like to go to India? Yes, but it's very far, expensive, and the vaccinations and so on, I replied. Maria said that she and her husband wanted to invite us. Maria, I explained, there is a problem. I won't go to India if I don't have all the money to help everyone who asks me for help. My master had taught me never to go on a journey without having the money to help others.
No.
And so you did. Many a times.
See, I did.
Maria replied that I would have all the money I wanted. That was a great offer. We planned our trip with 8 people. Maria and her husband Vicente, Rosanna and Mara, a younger student, Marco, my Italian student, and his friend Violetta, as well as Dolores and me. First I was asked where in India we were going. To Rishikesh was my immediate answer. When someone wanted to know why Rishikesh, I explained, the Beatles were there. I had always wanted to go to India but had never planned a trip there. When was asked? In March for 4 weeks. Now it turns out that at that very time the Kumbh Mela, the largest pilgrimage that exists on our planet, was being held in Haridwar. Millions of people come here for up to 2 months to stay on the banks of the river Ganges and take a holy bath there on certain days. Huge, seemingly endless tent camps are set up to accommodate all the visitors. Haridwar is 30 kilometers from Rishikesh. This gave us the opportunity to go to the pilgrimage site every day without having to live in this huge crowd. Why I wanted to travel to India was another question. I just want one thing, that one of those naked yogis who come down from the Himalayas to attend the pilgrimage touches me. I know you all want to go shopping. I don't want to visit any sites or travel around India. So I started to make plans for our trip. Since I was a little older, I decided to do all the preparations from home, online. I didn't want to land at some train station in Delhi with my people with tons of luggage, not understanding the signs and characters, and then having to make the decisions.
Because in that moment they are very obedient. They would say, "No, you decide." And you are standing there without knowing what to do. You cannot read any sign, you cannot talk with the people, nothing. And you know, I said, no, sorry.
So we booked 2 taxis from Delhi to Rishikesh and a hotel for 4 weeks outside of the town. To decide on a hotel, we contacted an American woman through couchsurfing who had been living in Rishikesh for years. We asked her to look at the hotels we were considering and then let us know what she thought about them. She described each hotel and we chose the one that was right on the banks of the Ganges, with manicured gardens, lawns, and a stone staircase that led straight to the water. When we went to the hospital to get vaccinated, the doctor said that a person my age hardly needed a vaccination. When I asked if this meant I would end my life in India, she explained that as you get older, you become immune to certain viruses. Ultimately, I only received a tetanus shot. After the idea of making this trip arose, I made a poster combining an image of the Alhambra Palace in Granada with an image of the Mausoleum of Rumi in Turkey and the image of a naked yogi sitting on a wall in the gardens of the Alhambra. This piece of art hung in my living room for about 5 months before we left for Rishikesh.
Yes.
We booked a flight via Helsinki as it was cheaper. So we took the bus from Granada to Madrid, from where we took our plane. And from there we went to Finland. The whole landscape was covered in snow. Here we met up with our Italian friends who were traveling from Milan. What a well-planned airport in Helsinki. Not big, but very comfortable. Here I saw for the first time a waiting room with loungers for everyone where one could rest or even sleep all night. Flying over Moscow, we approached Delhi very early in the morning. To our left, we could see the sun rising over the Himalayas. An endless expanse, thousands of kilometers of snow-capped mountains glowing in the red light of the rising sun.
It's about, I think, about 3,000 kilometers long and 800 kilometers wide, that mountain range. Wow. Different.
Yes. Tears were streaming down my face. While we were still on the plane, each of us had to fill out an entry form to present to the immigration officials along with our passports. After we landed and collected our luggage, we went to passport control. An older man was sitting there who pointed out to me that I had forgotten to enter some details on my immigration form. I looked in my bag, but my glasses weren't there. I probably had put them in my luggage. "I'm sorry, but I don't have my glasses and I can't see enough to complete the form," I told the officer. He looked at me very kindly, took off his glasses, handed them to me and said, "That's why I'm sitting here, son, to lend you my glasses."
Welcome to India. That is India.
See.
No. Then look for your glasses. I have time. I sit here. I'll wait for you. Take out your luggage and... No.
That was India. Here you don't live based on rights, but rather that you enjoy the tremendous gift of being alive and being able to share this life with others. Outside the airport lobby, 2 big, strong men were waiting for us. They had huge turbans on their heads and a sign in their hand that said, "Thomas." It all felt like home.
They were sick.
Sieg.
Six. They were quite healthy. And the first thing they did, they brought us to a place to drink something absolutely horrible. I think it was with this Himalayan salt or something. They said, that's good
Black
for your
salt.
stomach, you will not get sick. Drink it. Oh, that was a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
But they stopped. They said, we will stop here. That
You
will
drink
not
that.
get sick. You will not become a sick.
So we were taken in 2 taxis, the approximately 250 kilometers from Delhi to Rishikesh.
So look what happened. So they said, we go like from one province to the other province.
Mm-hmm.
So we need permission. So we had to stop and they had to go to the police office or whatever. And there was a whole street was full with people sitting on a desk, behind the desk and someone in front of the desk. All my people, they were sitting in the car waiting. I went out and I went to these people to try to find out what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And what it was or classes or the exam for driver license
Ah,
in the middle of the street. And there I had my first fun with all these people. No? I mean, I couldn't hardly change any word with them, no, but it was just absolutely wonderful.
So we were taken in 2 taxis, the approximately 250 kilometers from Delhi to Rishikesh. What we didn't know beforehand was that this trip would take more than 6 hours. Every few minutes you thought your life was going to end. Neither a traffic light nor the median strip, if there was one, counts. Everyone drives how and where they want.
6 hours and you had the feeling you are going with a speed of 200 kilometers.
Well, in reality, it's something
It
like
was no
50,
40.
60. Yeah. Everyone drives how and where they want, but what counts is your own life and that of others. We felt like we were racing like crazy the whole time, and yet it took so long to get to our destination. In the end, we were brought right to the front of the hotel. We said goodbye to the taxi drivers, giving them a reasonable tip. The hotel manager and a servant welcomed us and escorted us to the rooms. Of the 3 floors the hotel had, 1 floor had been reserved for us. There were still a few guests in the hotel, but they left the next day. The hotel was wonderful. It was a little outside of town, right on the river and surrounded by large trees, flowers and lawns.
Large trees and monkeys.
Mhm.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Monkeys, when we came back at night from the village, they were peeing on my companion. And they
From
were
the
right.
tree.
From the tree, yes.
Yeah. Keep the
They
dogs
know.
close and the monkeys won't come close. It was very quiet there and only a few minutes walk to the outskirts of the town. It was one of the cheapest places to stay, but it wasn't one of the cheapest places to stay, but it wasn't expensive either. That's the luxury of India, no? You don't have to go for the cheapest one. You can pay a little more and you get really nice, comfortable stay. Yeah. That same afternoon we went to Rishikesh. Colors, smells, and friendly faces everywhere. An old man came up to me. Baba, please buy me a new dhoti. This is a kind of skirt that men wear, a simple piece of textile wrapped around the hips. Since this was our first day in town, I said no. I didn't want half the village approaching me the next day asking for a new dhoti. So I gave the man a few rupees and we moved on. Back at the hotel, I couldn't believe what I had done. Despite having a lot of money, I had sent the man away. The next day I met him again on the street. I was happy and called him to me. This time I would buy him the dhoti. I asked Mara to accompany him to a store. When she came back, she said, in the first shop they charged the equivalent of 2 euros. The man said it wasn't the normal price and we went to another store. They only asked for 1 euro and the man agreed. We bought the dhoti and the man asked me for my name and the Baba's name. I will pray for you, he said as he left.
Look, that guy prayed. And when we came back, I separated from the woman. I said before we went on the journey, that will go wrong. The woman, the monkey peed on her.
The woman that you were in a
We-
relationship
yeah.
with at the time.
We separated,
Dolores, here.
and then I got together with Mara. She prayed. Oh,
Yeah.
powerful prayer.
Worked. Something worked. Soon after, I met him again wearing his old dhoti with holes in it. Yes, I thought. So he sold the new dhoti to someone. And I asked him where the new dhoti was. He opened a bag he had with him, and inside lay the new skirt neatly folded. Early in the morning, I go to Mother Ganga and wash myself. Then I put on the new dhoti to pray. But when I go out on the street to ask for money, I wear the old dhoti again. Here, there was infinite respect for oneself, for others, and for life itself.
No, and you immediately start to think, aha,
Caught
he was
you.
cheating us. No, we caught you.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Sometimes things are not as they seem.
Mm.
We often sat down to drink tea at a small stall on the side of the road. Here was a man named Man Singh who gave massages on request behind the stall. Drugs are absolutely forbidden in India, but the yogis or sadhus are allowed to smoke hashish or marijuana. And that's what they do, often continuously. People also smoked at this tea stall, and soldiers or police officers often came to smoke behind the stand with the yogis.
That's India. India different.
There they sat and smoked while one of us enjoyed a massage from Man Singh. In the midst of all the different people, a very small girl who was often present stood out. On one of the first days when we went for a walk on the banks of the Ganges with its white beaches, I said to my group that I felt like I had already seen this landscape and the large rocks that lay on the beach. Now I asked Man Singh who this little girl was. He said she had no parents and that he and the others were here, and the others here were taking care of her. Her name was Bole, which meant innocence. And suddenly I remembered a French documentary I saw years ago. The film was about a Baba, Bole Baba, who lived in Rishikesh on the banks of the Ganges. When I asked if Man Singh knew anyone by the name of Bole Baba, he said, yes, over there on the other bank, right across from here, lives Bole Baba.
All my hair going up.
So the fact that she looked familiar was not the point. The point was to ask about her, get the name,
Claro,
remember
get
the
name
documentary,
Bole,
and
and then, that was Bole Baba.
yeah. We crossed one of the long suspension bridges to get to the other side of the Ganges and walked along the bank until we came to a huge tree. A tea seller had set up his small stall under that tree. We sat on a wall and asked the man for tea. I said to my people that Bole Baba was here. I don't know exactly where, but he's here. After we drank the tea, I asked the seller if he knew where Bole Baba lived. The man looked at me and said, yes, you're sitting on top of him. I looked at the man in surprise, and he pointed to a staircase that led down to the beach right next to us. Go down the stairs and immediately to the right into a gate. That's where he lives, in a kind of a cave house. You're literally sitting right on top of him. We went down the narrow stairs into the gate, and there sat the man I had seen in the documentary. From the first moment, we were treated like members of his family. Bole Baba lived there with his mother, a nephew, and some of his followers. People sat here all day long smoking hashish. I had given up smoking years ago and wasn't sure how I would survive with the smoke of hashish and fumes from the sacred fireplace.
See,
I didn't care if
the
others...
whole room it was all black.
The walls, you mean?
The walls,
Oh.
the ceiling, all black from the smoke of the fire.
I didn't care if others smoked drugs, but I had no longer liked the effect the drug had on me. And since I knew that Marco, the Italian, smoked, I asked him to smoke with the yogis so that we wouldn't all have to decline their offer.
No, so if someone before would have come here to visit me, and we had a friend that I consider like a saint who passed away, Jose from Granada, from the caves, who was living in the cave. And he was smoking, and I said, okay, you go on the balcony, you smoke. I don't mind at all, and I don't mind talking later with you or whatever. But I don't want to smell it because it will affect me, and I don't like that anymore. No? So I was fearing sitting there with maybe, well, they were maybe 10 people and we were 8. So all, and these people smoking without stopping, chilling. And one was going out, they had the next one, and it was a big cloud of smoke. And I was looking, I said, well, how can I manage that? A tiny little window, the door, but you cannot be unpolite with that person. You cannot simply go out, and in the first moment there was language problem. So I was thinking, how can you do that, to go out without inciting him? No, he offered the chillum once to us, and we said no. And then he never again offered it. Never trying again. No, once no, but the Italian guy said, you smoke.
We were only offered a pipe once and then never again. Our decisions were accepted without any problems. After Marco had smoked 4 or 5 pipes, he came to me and said, I don't notice any effect from the smoking. And the hashish is certainly of the best quality, after all, we are in India. And I myself, sitting there in the middle of these thick clouds of smoke, didn't notice anything either.
Anything, nothing.
When someone came to my house to visit and wanted to smoke a joint, I always sent the person to the balcony because the smoke affected me. We asked the Baba about this strange phenomena. And Bole Baba replied, we smoke here only to get closer to the Creator and to have positive thoughts, whereas in your countries, people use drugs to escape from problems. And that doesn't have the same effect, and it isn't good for you.
That's it. So that's the same thing if you consider these new things, the new age, taking all these ayahuasca or DMT or whatever,
Psilocybin or
mushrooms or blah 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 blah. No, it's wrong. Because it's not because it's wrong. It's wrong because you do it with the wrong purpose.
escaping, running away.
No, just escaping. No, I remember when we started in Germany, when we were young, smoking hashish, but that was always a kind of ceremony with some nice tea. There was never alcohol, some nice tea, some nice silent music, calm music. No, not giving it the name we look for the Creator, but we were looking for something deeper, some for our soul. Let's say it like that. No, and when we came here to Spain, in Spain, it was just used as a drug. I mean, they had the dictatorship before here, and suddenly it opened up and it was everywhere, but just only for, let's say, fun, no, to escape from their reality, you know, and that, of course, it's not good.
In India, many people sensed who we were. Once, while we were drinking tea under the tree at Bole Baba's, there was a group of New Age spiritualists with a lot of theory and little experience who were playing a song by George Harrison with their guitar and singing along. Someone in the group pointed at us and asked the tea seller, "And these people? Where do they come from?" The man looked at the group, smiled and replied, "Forget these people. They have nothing to do with you. They come from Disneyland. So the tea seller knew how to please their egos, and as a result create peace and
have peace, and they would not ask us because we didn't want to have any contact with them. So now forget about it. They're from Disneyland.
There was something strange that happened there every day. We were extremely friendly and greeted everyone we passed on the street. When we walked along the river and greeted the spiritually dressed Westerners, they often did not return our greeting, but looked to the side. This might be normal when someone is having a bad day, but it happened all too often. Our Spanish fellow travelers sometimes walked straight up to these people to greet them, practically stopping them, and yet there was no response.
You know how Spanish people are, no?
Sí.
Look at this, and it says here, mucha cara. You don't feel ashamed, no? You just go, hey, you okay?
And
even in that case, no.
I know exactly what you're referring to. It's like you smile at anyone smiles back at you, of the Indians, of the local
Everyone
people.
and stopping and you look at them, you cannot talk one word, but it's just a wonderful encounter.
And then there's another white face, and all of a sudden it's like silliness. You only had to look at any Indian man or woman and they would smile, put their hands together at chest height, say hello, and eye contact alone was balm for the soul. That's it. That's real. It somehow is like a real contact, not like a I don't know where to look and how to get out of this situation. It's like a real meeting.
Before I was thinking about when you tell something, no? And we say, well, life should be more, you should feel life with your emotions and not think about it. And not often in a conversation, it's what people were thinking or what they will be thinking or all here, no? But even if they talk about their emotions, it's still the same thought process because you cannot explain an emotion. It's not possible because it's your emotion. And it's only for you. No, so if you say to that guy from Saudi Arabia, oh, we had really bad day, it was raining the whole day, and he cannot get the point because for him, if it would be raining the whole day, that would be wonderful, no? So even then, if you try to explain that, it's still a mental process from you and from the other person getting, or the feeling comes over in some way. If not, it's just again mental. So our communication, or really, I mean, when I ask you, so Lena, what do you learn here? And you say nothing. I'm changing, but you are changing by these emotions, by these feelings that are floating around, not by some explanation or no. No, and I cannot explain, and you cannot explain it. We cannot even understand mentally. No, it's like what the Sufis say: explain to someone how a platano tastes, and you cannot. No, someone who has never eaten a platano, you cannot. It's not possible. No.
Banana.
Huh?
Banana, plátano, banana.
Banana, un banana, una banana.
Una banana.
Aquí también existe. Here it's also banana. Okay, read banana.
At Bole Baba's, we talked about this strange behavior. And the Baba explained to us, these people come here and don't realize that we are just fooling them. But not because of us, but because of them. These people, they want absolutely nothing. They are not looking for a spiritual answer to life. And nothing can be given to the one who doesn't seek.
So it was a very hard answer, no? I mean, there are maybe hundreds of thousands of people going there.
Yeah.
And then coming here, open yoga school and meditation and blah, blah, blah. And say, well, we are just cheating them. Because they don't want anything. If you want, then it's like Ram Das. You go there, Guru sitting there, and you rented a car, 4-wheel drive, And the guru said, what do you want? Yeah, I would like to be with you, learn something from you, whatever. And the guru said, give me the key cards. Car keys.
Car keys.
Car keys. And I cannot, it's a rented car. Or you give me the car and the keys, or you want to learn anything. And finally he said he had to buy a new car.
Yeah.
No, that's just a test. No, you really want, like they do in Turkey, they do something with you that if you are reasonable, you would stand up and go out.
Like the cat and the cookie.
The cat and the cookie, or the young guy smoking, or no. So they try to figure out, you really want, or it's just your ego because you want to be someone, or
Special.
no?
Spiritual man by Toto. I want to be a prince, not a king, not a warrior.
See,
I want to have that special light in my eyes.
go up into the mountain to the tree of wisdom and feel the karma when you touch my hand.
I want to feel good when I cry. Yes. So, nothing can be given to the one who doesn't seek. So we sell them a little gymnastic, which they call yoga, which they then later sell to others in their country. We're not doing anything wrong with this. We don't sell them drugs, and the money we receive is for our orphans. Then the Baba added, if someone comes to me and asks me to teach him or her yoga, there are two things they must learn beforehand. First, good behavior. Not just on the outside, but they need to learn how to be present in every moment. It's not the same situation to be with your dog, your lover, your child, parent, to face yourself, your spiritual life, or even your creator. Once the person has learned this, I teach them a few things like praying, meditating, washing, and fasting. And then a target appears in front of that person. And we call this goal God. The student discovers that being spiritual means serving the Creator. But then it becomes clear.
That was nice. No, I mean, you say that's finished. No, I mean, you become aware that to be spiritual means to serve the Creator. And then he turned it around.
But then it becomes clear that no one can serve the Creator because the Creator does not need our help. But eventually the person finds out that creation would gratefully accept our help. Help in the name of the Creator. To be of service to creation in the name of the Creator. When the student is aware of all of this, then I begin to teach yoga to make this service easier for them. Yoga is the tool.
The tool.
It's not the answer. Yeah.
It goes on.
And then he added, a bad person who starts practicing yoga becomes an even worse person. Yeah, it amplifies what you have.
Simply amplifies your own intentions you have, or your own
Yeah.
goal you have in your life. No, if you are a bank robber and you rob one bank a month, with yoga you rob 3.
Wonderful.
So if
someone,
you're Robin Hood,
maybe.
then it's okay.
Yeah.
But if not,
So this is it, right? First, good behavior, not on the outside, but learning to be, not only on the outside, but learning to be present in every moment. To realize that it's different to be with your dog, your lover, your child, parent, to face yourself, your spiritual life, or even your Creator. Then, learning a few things like praying,
he
meditating,
said,
washing,
then
fasting.
I teach them the law.
The law.
And by that he meant what?
Their rules.
Their rules, no? The washing or fasting or praying. Or
And only after that, a target appears. And that goal is called God. And then the journey starts. Then the journey starts.
And then, who am I to serve God?
Because God does not need our service. However, creation.
But maybe I could become a tool. I could become a tool to help others for whom it's more difficult to become aware.
And then he begins to teach yoga to make that service easier.
Yeah, he said, first you have to focus the person on something really positive. Once they want that, they believe that, they can get it, then you try to enhance that these good intentions. But just to teach yoga to someone who has no good intentions at all, not only maybe bad intentions, but mixed, they are a prisoner to their ego, then it is not good.
Yeah.
Then it's not good.
A sadhu friend of the Baba was present almost every day. This man spoke perfect English and often served as a translator for us. His name was Shashi.
Oh, sorry for that.
You couldn't know when you wrote the book.
No.
He told us how he used to live in a cave in the Himalayas for 6 months and then came down to the river to visit his friends for the rest of the year. He said he had only eaten 1 meal in the cave during the last 6 months. He had drunk tea or water but only eaten once. Neither of us said a word, or no one of us said a word. But I'm sure that no one believed the story. It is completely different to read a book than to stand in front of the person. Our minds and jealousy will not allow us to accept such a thing.
Because with the book it's very easy. You can say, well, I enjoy reading the book, but anyway it's a story.
And my imagination allows me to imagine.
No, so but the person is standing in front of you and says that, and
You're like, yeah.
Okay,
I
whatever
can-
you say.
The next day, someone brought a basket of grapes to Baba's house. The grapes were still on the vine. Shashi took a bunch of grapes out of the basket with one hand, turned his palm up, closed his hand for a moment and said to me, "Here, Baba, take your grapes."
And on top of it, he was missing one finger. We called him the four-finger one,
I opened both hands.
like that.
And
He made look. He was his
Okay,
four fingers. He
I
had
do that.
the grapes here.
Yeah.
No? And he just made once like that. And he said, "Take your grapes." And he opened his hand, and the grapes were falling into my hands, all of the bunch.
One by one.
One by one. And then he took the bunch and threw it away.
And with
And
the
he
bunch,
did
you
that
mean
with
the
10
vine.
or 12 people sitting there. Take your grapes. So that was not David Copperfield, that was real.
I opened both hands and the grapes fell into my hands. They were no longer on the vine, and he threw the vine away. Then he did the same for Mara and all the other 12 people who were there. That wasn't David Copperfield. That was real. Afterwards, we could all imagine how this unusual man could survive on just 1 meal for half a year.
Different.
How quickly things can change, no?
Claro.
And perceptions too. Yeah. I often test people to see if they need to defend their beliefs or if they are able to simply accept criticism as another way of seeing things. Shashi stood on the terrace of Bole Baba's house and pointed his hand towards the Ganges. "Behold, Baba, Mother Ganga, a holy river." I replied, "Mother Ganga is a holy river if your heart declares it a holy river. But if my heart does not do this, the Ganges is a normal river, like any other river on this earth. The only thing that is sacred on this planet is the human heart." Provoking. Okay.
Claro. Seeing what will he do? He will defend his belief or not?
Shashi looked at me for a moment and replied calmly, "You're right." Shashi had no need to defend anything, as his faith was one with him, not something he had learned from books. Every day as we
Now,
sat...
how can he explain to me that the Ganges is a holy river if I don't have that feeling? I didn't get it from being small. I was not educated there. I did not get the feeling. I didn't take my bath there. So I will not get it. You can explain that.
No
to
one
me, and
ever
I
said
can-
anything about rivers being holy.
No, and I can repeat these words and coming here and I was at the Ganges, a holy river. Yeah, but it's empty. But for him it was not empty. For him it was like that.
Should we pause?
Hmm?
Should we pause?
I don't know. You can read to the end of the book if you want, and then you cut the chapters.
I don't do any. I don't know.
No, you do. Oh,
We pause.
we pause.
We
Okay.
pause.